fish now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules. Dangerous path that I follow. Oh, go on, just do what you do. And it hurts as I bleed for you, cry for you. Let me bleed as I bleed for you, cry for you. Let me bleed.
So fragile, like it was built to break off the handle. How'd we get to this place? We're leaving everything behind for new and exciting feelings, but I won't leave you. We'll
The other two are off. Welcome to KG5 as Women's Super League action continues in round 10. We were meant to have 3 games today, but just the one on the slate now. The weather in the south has been absolutely atrocious this morning. You probably wouldn't be able to tell off that picture. That is painting a very pretty picture indeed of what Hobart has been this morning. Pouring down with rain, so no games at Darcy Street or Kelvin Park. The only Super League action today here at KG5 as the ladder leaders and undefeated Ulverstone Soccer Club travel down to take on the defending champion Hobart Zebras. Obviously having a slightly rougher season, but still packed with quality and will offer a very stern test to an undefeated Ulverstone side today. We have a look at the Zebras lineup. We've seen in the recent weeks a slight shift there in goals. Alyssa Bowden has been in midfield for a number of seasons for the Zebras, but she's now been put between the sticks. Chris Hay clearly wanting more of a focus on passing out from the back, so Bowden in goals and has acquitted herself quite nicely in that role. Kayla Mason is a very versatile player, defensive utility, probably most likely to line up as a centre-back today, I'd suggest, looking at that lineup. Danielle Canagiza has returned to the team in recent weeks and has given them a little bit more impetus in the final third. Lucy McGregor came across from university, number 4 there, having a good season. Erin Delaney, would expect to see at fullback. Sarah Morris, probably on the opposite flank to Canagiza in attack, maybe even leading the line, because Lucy Johnson has been deployed out wide on occasion this year, cutting inside onto that left foot to right foot rather, to devastating effect. She's just been scoring from everywhere. Not a new name on the team sheet there, number 11, just a change in name. Rachel Gill, the artist formerly known as Riddler, tying the knot with my former sparring partner in the commentary box up here last weekend. So Rachel Gill lining up here for the Hobart Zebras, and all the best to the happy couple there. Zoe Nichols is another who's returned in recent times, and a very handy player to bring into the squad. Zoe Nichols, Caitlin Roberts will probably line up somewhere in attack, and rounding out the side we've got number 17 Georgia Burt, the midfield playmaker. So much is going to be put on the shoulders of Georgia Burt today. Just the two on the bench, of course. The Zebras struggling a little bit with numbers, Lindsay Donahue and the backup keeper Casey Ponting. So that is your Hobart Zebras lineup for this clash. And we'll move on to Ulverstone. And at the top there, the leading goal scorer in the competition, Jasmine Gorry, has just been slotting them for fun this year. She is seriously quick. The young girl just continues to get in behind the lines of defences and score goals routinely. Number 5, Georgia Foot, having a fantastic season in harder defence. 18 goals is Gorry's total in the league this year. Quite extraordinary from 9 games. That's 2 a match so far. Emily Nellis, playing against her former team, formerly of the Hobart Zebras, has come across to Alveston and really has just solidified the defensive unit, and is a big reason why they've improved so much this year. Perhaps an understated part of the Zebras' success last season. Tiela Uida, Susanna Blackwood Beatty, the number 8 there, has been a versatile player for Ulverstone this season. Melanie Smith has shown good flashes, has been coming in off the bench a few times, but gets the start today. Lucy Foot, the player, coach, captain, star player, pick your adjective really, has just been running the show in midfield for Ulverstone this year. Her combination play with Jasmine Gorry has been so key to their success. Ebony Sims, Elizabeth Wells, Lucy Arima, and in goals, Georgia Anderson, rounding out the starting lineup. 4 on the bench for Ulverstone. Good to see they're travelling in numbers down here. Leah DeProse, Lily James, Rachel Glover, and Samantha Hardy, rounding out the 15 for the ladder leaders. And what a season they are having. Absolutely flying at the moment in the Super League. 9 from 9. They were 6 points clear on top. Launceston City getting a victory yesterday just to close that gap back to 3, but they'll be looking to extend that margin once again today. They've just had the one slip up this year coming in the cup at the hands of the Kingborough Lions, who put in a fine performance in the statewide cup last week. It was a very enjoyable game on this ground. 2 new teams taking the field. Perhaps some would suggest a more likely cup final matchup when you're predicting the teams at the start of the season. And a week later, they'll meet here on this ground. I think it's going to be a very good game. The stakes are high for Ulverstone. This is probably one of the tougher games they've got left on their slate as we turn to the final 12 weeks of the season now, while the cup's out of the way. No more weekends off. It's just a 3-month sprint to the finish. And Ulverstone yet to be beaten. Of course, Hobart Zebras, they've been up against it. To a certain extent, it's a year of making sure they can maintain the 2 teams. But not totally out of the league title race. They've been showing a little bit of good form in recent weeks since getting a few players back. Obviously, they're going to lose a couple more, which is going to hurt them. Monique Undy is off at the World Cup, which is a blow to their defence. But they've done a pretty good job riding out the tough times thus far. And they still sit in the 3rd spot on the table. 16 points, probably should be 19 if not for the admin penalty in round one. So they're right up there. They've dropped off a little bit, but they're still one of the powers in Tasmanian football. And the 11 they've got out on the pitch today will give this Ulverstone team a real test. And looking forward to this one. It's going to be a huge game for both sides. And indeed, it's Georgia Foot wearing the captain's armband today. Lucy with the coaching hat, and also will be patrolling the midfield. So the Foot sisters very much leading this Alveston team, and they've very much led them up the table. They've been the catalyst for all the improvement. Mid-table side last year, they beat the teams below them, but they just couldn't get near the teams above them. But they've really turned that round this year, have Alveston. And they have got their eyes firmly on the Super League title. It's an achievable goal, that's for sure. City stumbling a little bit, dropping a couple of games. 6 points clear on top heading into this round. It's 3 as we enter this one. But they'll be looking to reassert themselves. Of course, last time Hobart Zebras played one of the two Northern Powers at KG5, it wasn't a pretty result at all, 4-0, and City absolutely played them off the park that day. It's really the worst Zebras performance we've seen in the last 2 years, so they'll be eager to come out and atone for that. I'm sure the team that beat them, Launceston City, will certainly hope they can. They're going to need to be more organised. It's threatening to pour with rain as this one gets underway. The wind is certainly starting to pick up. It's a pretty miserable old day for football. What can the players do to light things up here at KG5? We're just about underway. A slight delay to kick off, but ready to go now in this one. It's Ulverstone and Hobart Zebras. Cressay, interestingly, just perching himself up in the stand for this one. Just get a bigger overview of the ground, just removing himself for the bench. Just casting an eye over proceedings, and just in time for kick-off, the rain has arrived. So it is truly miserable conditions for all out there. We've had a pretty sunny half-hour pre-game whilst I've been here, but the weather has just turned. I'm being told by my producer it's 9 degrees, but he thinks it feels more like 3, which is probably a fair assessment. Zoe Nichols gets ready to kick us off here in round 10 Super League action. Hobart Zebras and Ulverstone immediately broken up at the back there. One back by the Zebras, Roberts to McGregor. Back to Kayla Mason. She's going to be important leading the line. Looks like Caitlin Roberts sliding in alongside her in the heart of defence today. Maddie O'Brien, of course, defecting to Clarence, and with Andy over in Russia at the World Cup. Has given Cressay a need to adjust in the middle of his defence, and Roberts has played plenty of football back there, so a very versatile player playing midfield this season, but someone very capable in that role as Johnson works at forward, sets Kanagiza a fair old task. Nellis will have this one under control, and goes over the line there. Roger Anderson with the goal kick, and kicking into a pretty stiff old breeze to start this one. It's going to be a tough day for the young keeper, and you can see just how tough it is going to be. And the Zebras, you'd expect in this first half especially, will really be pressing up the field and try and make it tough for them to play through. Here's Lucy Johnson. Knocked to the ground afterwards, worked it back to McGregor. Gets some support. Morris will give chase to this one in a foot race with Blackwood Beattie, who sees it out of play. Working across there. The Alveston fullback. So it's Gill with the throw in here. Haven't quite got used to saying that one yet. Goes looking for Nichols, but a former teammate Nellis got in front of her. Back to Zoe Nichols. Tried to send her off a burp, but that was steered away nicely by Weeder. Now foot on the ball. Sends it across for Reimer. Well cut out by Roberts. Johnson quickly become the heartbeat of this team. Of course, wasn't there for their success last year, but You've got a talent like Lucy Johnson, you just to track the ball, and so much of the Zebras attack runs through her these days. Try and hit her feet at every possible opportunity. As that one just eludes Sarah Morris. Chris A may be in the stand, but not prohibiting him from barking out the orders from up here. As the wind really kicks up a gear here. This is going to be very tough for Ulverstone. This first half playing into such a stiff wind. We've seen a few games really dictated by the weather before. His foot does well. Backs it forward looking for the pace of Gorry. At the back, there was Lucy Reamer. Well defended though. That's well dealt with at the back by Roberts. Coughed it up to Gorry immediately though, back to Foot. Foot to her sister, who drives this one well over the bar. Georgia Foot on this occasion, having the first attempt for the game, but well over the top of Bowden's goal, as we can see here on the replay. Pretty sharp chance that one. Fairly optimistic effort as Sarah Morris just goes across to get new football for us. So Kayla Mason taking the kick-outs, which is interesting given you've got Bowden in goals. I'd have thought she's in there for a distribution out of the back, and they've turned this one over to the dangerous Jasmine Gorry. Tries to thread it through, but Roberts shutting it down nicely. Reamer has been prominent early, and she crosses here, deflects off of Roberts, and it's easy pickings there for Alyssa Bowden. She just gives this one a hoof up top. And just infringing in the back there was Nellis of Zoe Nichols. Free kick blown. Johnson takes it quickly to Bird. Morris. McGregor treads on the ball. Left it straight up to Foot, who threads it through and off to the races as Jasmine Gorry. Bowden sharp off a line. Had to be, went straight to Sims though. Foot back to Smith. Now down the line for Sims. Well done by Alyssa Bowden. Sharp off her line. We've seen time and time again with Alveston this year, just that ball in behind the defence for Gorry to run onto. Not many defenders, if any, who can go with her. The majority of her 18 goals have just been running onto through balls. And nearly finds the opening here. Well done to Bowden as Foot the target of this throw-in off the head of Gill. Away by Mason. So throw in to be taken by Blackwood Beatty. Down the line, just controlling there, and Sims. Followed by Blackwood Beatty. Mason nodding down, trying to find Gill, but just eluding the Zebras fullback. Here's Foot. Punches that one into the box. Mason controls it. Coughed it up, it deflects to the back post. It'll be gathered there by Bowden though. No harm done. And heaves it across to Kanagiza, whose first touch coughed it straight back up. And both teams just lacking a little bit of sharpness in the early goings here. There's the punt. Out in front of Johnson, and the experienced Foot will just let that one run out. There's a little bit of contact in the process. And that situation firmly under control. And Georgia Foot. It's so good in the middle of defence this year. Here's Lucy Foot. Georgia Foot. Into the middle for Weeder. Back to Nellis. And now Wells. Wells on the ball for a moment, then sends it wide, but cut out by Gill. Zoe Nichols brings it down and immediately sets it out in front of Lucy Johnson, but again, Georgia Foot across in coverage. Gill nods that one into touch. So the throw in taken to Smith. Smith holds off the attention of Johnson, who wins out in the end. Morris dispossessed. Beatty just clears the area. Throw in. Tearing after it was foot, didn't quite get to it though. Worked inside by Weeder. Found Smith. Now Lucy foot. Across to Wells. And now a chance perhaps at the back, but across as Kayla Mason read the play nicely. Into the middle it goes. Foot works it forward to Smith. Smith threading it through, looking to spring Weeder in behind, who'd made a promising run, but nothing coming of it. Ulverstone turning the screws at the moment though, despite the fact they're working into the wind, and a lot of it is they just keep punching it down the middle, and Georgia Foot just keeps winning it back. At the moment the Zebras no attacking thrust, and now it's Lucy Foot. A little bit sloppy. Well done by Kayla Mason in defence. The Zebras just unable to get any real flow to their game at the moment, not stringing the passes together as they would like to. It's Alveston on top, turning with it is Smith. Smith back to Foot. Foot shifts it onto the right, then drives it. Comfortably collected by Bowden. They're going to be beaten by that. Safe pair of hands on the new number one there, Bowden. But again, it's cut out. Brilliantly won back by Wells. All past though, couldn't find Smith, and Gill to Morris, and a heavy touch off her. Alveston flowing again. Just breaking down at halfway at the moment, the Zebras. And the wind Alveston are playing in, if they can pin them back deep, they will make it tough for the ladder leaders to play out. Here's Foot. Bossing the contest at the moment. She works it forward for Weeder. Already in towards the Sims direction. Now McGregor. Gill, Burt. Good scrap there with Blackwood Beatty. Kayla Mason reading the play well. The pass was broken up by Foot though. Now Georgia Foot. Weeder. Been busy in the midfield. Cross to Wells. Cuts inside. Coughed it up to Johnson. Went the back heel to Kanagiza. No way through there though, and now the long diagonal sets a foot race here. Delaney leading back. Oh, didn't deal with it all so well, but no harm done in the end. Alveston really profiting there with the raking diagonal. Just the most assured at the back. His Foot takes it away from Burt. Lucy Johnson shut down by Georgia Foot. Georgia Burt. Back to Lucy Johnson. Lucy Johnson swings it across for the runner Kanagiza, but just picks up far too much steam and rolls straight out of play. Nothing doing for the Zebras in the final third as we have a look at this play up the other end. Delaney and Bowden just miscommunicating for a little and almost allowed Raymer in. Takes a little tumble. Nothing doing, but it wasn't really tidy at the back from the Zebras there. As Anderson looks to go a bit lower this time and punches it down the middle. Ball's in front of Foot, who slides in and works it forward. Gill cuts that out. Hits the foot of Lucy Johnson. Couldn't get round Blackwood Beatty. She'll get another bite at it though. All right, she threads it through for Lucy McGregor. That's a great ball. McGregor's got Zoe Nichols in the middle. That's a fantastic sliding block from Emily Nellis against her former team. Doing it nicely. Breaking up the Zebras' best moment of the match thus far. What a fantastic pass that was from Lucy Johnson. Nellis been uncompromising this year in Ulverstone. Morris takes it near post and punches it straight to the side netting. A wasted opportunity, that. Here's Foot. Foot and Johnson, two of the best in the business, are going head to head, and just a slightly heavy back pass there. Did no favours for the sister. So, the artist formerly known as the Riddle Up with the throw. Batman villain nickname, probably going to have to die now, I think. As Lucy Johnson has plenty of time on the ball. He turns and then coughs it straight up to the opposition. Gave it straight there to Rima. Couldn't quite find Foot though. And Caitlin Roberts in control at the back, but again, Kanagiza. I know she's fast, but I think her teammates, I think she's a little bit quicker than she actually is. They keep putting these balls way out in front of her. They're doing their winger absolutely no favours at all thus far. Put her feet a little more often. Always a threat. There's a raking ball in the Sims direction. Puts her in a foot race up against Gill, who does it nicely. Comes across and puts it into touch. As the sun just starting to break out here at KG5, which is a very welcome sight. Temperature certainly hasn't shifted. But every single person in the stand here today wearing a pretty thick jacket. As this corner is swung in, Johnson repels. Blackwood Beatty gets there before Nichols, sends it across to Jasmine Gorry. It's been quiet so far, has Jasmine Gorry, just the one real flash of her pace in behind. Foot. Lucy Foot driving it, looking to tee up Gorry, but just a bit too much on that one for her. This spring, the Alveston speedster is Wells. McGregor back to Roberts. Georgia Burt. Now Delaney. Delaney looking for McGregor, cut out by Nellis. Well worked back in defence though by Wells, retreated to Anderson, who just punches it right down the middle looking for Gorry. She nods it, well, was looking for Smith, who ends up winning it back anyway off of Johnson. And she sends it through, and that's a good touch from Mason. Gorry was in behind there. Vital intervention from Kayla Mason, who's marshalling this defence nicely thus far as it falls to Zoe Nichols. Turns straight into danger though, straight into Lucy Foot. And the Foot girls just winning it back for their side here. Time after time today. Weeder. Foot. Now in the Gorry direction. Mason nods down. Picked up again by Weeder. Smith. And then Foot from distance. Girls are just wide of the post there. As the Alveston centre half. Trying to bend that one there for the back post. Just curling a bit too much. Took it just wide of the post. Bowden seemingly had the situation covered regardless. But not too far away. That one's nodded straight out of play by Kanagiza. So it's going to be man Delaney down the line. Now Lucy Johnson in a pocket of space, tries to throw it through for Morris. Good little touch though from Blackwood Beatty. Nellis back to Anderson. So the Tasmania NDC Challenge recently, young keeper. Prospect for the future. Taking the #1 gig at such a young age. There's a free kick blown, so Alveston I think would be pretty happy with the early going here. They've played into the wind and they've had the better of the contest despite that. Nicely defended on this occasion though by Roberts. Took it out, Kanagiza in the tight confines. Kept it in but then coughed it straight up to Weeder. The cross comes in looking for Jasmine Gorry. Kayla Mason commandingly in the air. She's having a good game so far. One of the few defenders who's probably got the pace to be able to go stride to stride with Gorry. And absolutely vital today as Foot just buffets Morris off the ball. She'll be unable to track this one down. Ball turned over. Coming out from the back. As Georgia Foot punches this one into the channel looking for a run. Roberts looking quite comfortable in the heart of defence though. Plenty of matches in the defensive positions, despite the fact she spent the bulk of this year as a midfielder since moving across to the Zebras. Black would be hacking this one forward and swings out of play. Foot smashed forward by Georgia Foot again. Kayla Mason away. Gorry presenting, and she's done really well there, Jasmine Gorry. Just cleverly played it off with Morris, snipped in front of her, and wins the throw for her team. Morris oblivious to that one. Nicely done by Gorry. Blackwood Beatty with the throw in. To back there, Smith who lost it, Nichols again off of Smith and a throw in. Fairly cagey opening. No chances flowing as of yet, but I think Ulverstone would be the happy of the two teams. They've got a difficult end to be playing into, yet they've had the better of this contest so far. They've had more of the ball, they've won it back pretty nicely. But both sides' defences firmly on top. Georgia Foot and Kayla Mason probably the two standouts through the opening 20 minutes as this one's in towards Gorry, who takes it down, but Roberts will see it away from her, works it up towards Zoe Nichols, does really well there. Zoe Nichols gets in behind of Nellis and threads it through looking for the run of Kanagiza, but it's overhit that one. And it'll be dealt with by Anderson as the Zebras show their threat on the break, and a free kick against McGregor there on Weeder. Very talented midfield brigade the Zebras have, with Burt, McGregor and Johnson in that. Real strength of this side, but just need to get their feet on the ball a little bit more. Burt battling for it with Foot. Foot does really well and then steers this one wide of the post with the left-footed effort. And clear cut chances so far, half chances, and this one always drifting wide of the post. Also, if you're just joining us, Taruna Kingborough and South Hobart v Clarence, the other two games in the Super League today, being postponed due to the inclement weather down here in the south. This is the only Super League game of the day. Yesterday, Launceston City Wanderers, that's Dicey at the back, turned over and fired straight at Bowden, not punished for the butchering of the ball at the back there. Rima unable to make them pay, very untidy indeed. The ball's getting out of the box there, and oh, that was dicey too from Anderson, and Johnson tries to catch her out. The first time effort, always wide of the mark, but both teams just a little scrappy out from the back at the moment. We have a look at this from Roberts, really sold Kayla Mason down the river there. As Rima just unable to get a balance in the end and fire the shot off in any way that would challenge Bowden, but that could so easily have been 1-0 to Alveston, probably the best chance of the game so far. As some nice work from Foot, sends it through for Rima, return ball looking for the run of Gorry, but again picked up by Bowden, sweeping up everything. Perhaps Alveston just starting to get a couple of openings. Two balls on the pitch, which will just hold up the throw momentarily for Blackwood Beatty. Actually works it onto Rima. One back though, Georgia Burt, Morris. Now Weeder up against Nichols. Weeder worked it back. Now Nellis under pressure from Nichols. Anderson coming out off her line. Nichols hovering about in safety first. The option from the experienced Alveston defender. Key part of the Zebras' success last year, playing in that defence alongside O'Brien. Monique Undy there. Three of their regular starting centre backs. Not with the team at the moment, the Hobart Zebras, but Mason and Roberts showing the enviable depth they have at that position. Doing nicely and in control thus far as Nellis wins it back off Johnson and sends it down the line for Sims. Roberts with the situation under control, but tried to turn. Started a little bit too much herself there. One back by Mason, just allowed Gorry in though. Jasmine Gorry, well recovered Mason, and then brings Gorry down off the ball, I thought. Play allowed to continue. Thought she lent into her there a little. And yeah, perhaps unfortunate not to get the free kick there, Jasmine Gorry, on the edge of the area. Mason getting all into her back. She shackled her pretty well thus far though. Away by Delaney. Finds Lucy Johnson. Punch forward. Mason got a foot in. Out after this again is Lucy Foot. She's just got that work rate and desire, and she charges past Gill and crosses dangerously. Away by Roberts. Foot back on it though, Lucy Foot. Back to Georgia Foot. And before Weeder could get a boot on it, Georgia Burt had worked it away as Nichols just tries to turn Nellis, who very cleverly just impeded Nichols. The free kick, well spotted. Knew she was beat here and just stuck the knee in there, just clipped her a little. Holds up the counter attack. So eventually Roberts is going to come across and take this one. Plays it short for Johnson, who's receiving some close attention from an opposite number in this game. Lucy Foot doing a really good job defensively. It's been offensively, she's been an absolute star this year, but she's certainly capable of winning the ball back, and has done it a number of times off of Lucy Johnson already as Jasmine Gorry's in down the right here. It's the lively Gorry. Can she pick a teammate out? She crosses in, finds only Alyssa Bowden. Easily gathered there. And she just works this one out to Roberts, back to Gill. Morris. Charge down by Blackwood Beatty. Jasmine Gorry turns and goes. Charging off towards goal here is Gorry. Johnson coming across in defence. Enjoying the work of Linda Higginson in the beekeeping outfit down on the near touchline. Look forward to those pictures post-game. Always a sign of the weather when the beekeeper gear comes out. So, still 0-0 through 26 minutes here. KG5, no clear chances. Rima probably with the best chance of the game when it was coughed up to the back, coughed up at the back to her. And they might get a chance here. Weeder threads it through for Jasmine Gorry, who's offside. It was a good save by Bowden. The flag had already been raised though. So we'll have a look at this one. Yes, it definitely strayed there, I think. Gorry. Mason losing a footing. A very good piece of goalkeeping from Bowden. It was all trivial though. Flag had already been raised as soon as that ball was played forwards. So Roberts punches this one across to Canagese, back to Delaney. Delaney to McGregor. Roberts. Back to Lucy McGregor. Combines with Delaney, returns to McGregor. One back by Alveston. Now it's Jasmine Gorry. He'll turn onto the right. Again, Mason combative and winning the ball back nicely. And might fall, couldn't just sit there though for McGregor. And Weeder gets on it for Alveston instead. And then right into the back there of Lucy McGregor was Weeder. They'll take it quickly to Lucy Johnson. Morris needs to make a run further afield here. Just hesitated a little bit too long. By the time she'd made the run, Johnson had been closed down by Georgia Foot. Hesitated a little too long. Gill with the throw down the line, foot away. Mason stepping in. Roberts with a dodgy little back pass cut off by Foot. Now Weeder. Been impressive in the middle, Weeder, but again Gorry's offside. They're knocking on the door at the moment, Ulverstone. They're probing away here, trying to break this Zebras defence down, but so far, credit to the defensive unit of the Zebras, they're holding firm. How much longer can they do so under pressure? A lot of it is of their own doing here. They keep turning the ball over at the back, and now it's Lucy Foot charging into the box here. Lucy Foot, she's got a couple to pick out. One of them's Gorry, had a fresh air swing. At the back, a chance perhaps for Smith, curling it just past the post. They are under immense pressure at the moment, the Zebras, and once again, they're their own worst enemies. Turning the ball over at the back. And a fresh air swing there from Jasmine Gorry. A reprieve that one, as this was nicely done by Smith. Turning onto the right and fired just wide of the post in the end. Again they turn it over at the back, and again they won't be made to pay for it. Here's Lucy Johnson. Weeder to Foot. Just feel the wind at their backs. Need to just start knocking it a little bit longer, although I guess they tried that in the early going. Couldn't link up with Nichols, who'll try and run onto this one, but again it's overhit, and Anderson across to deal with it. Worked on by Wells. Now Smith. Came close moments earlier. Charging down the left wing. Threads it through for the run of Sims. And closed down by Roberts for a corner. And a set piece opportunity for Alveston. They're getting on top in this game at the moment.
You say hello to Holly, please, Anthony. You say hello to Holly.
So the cross about to come in. Swung dangerously towards the near post. A collision between a pair of Zebras there. Still the danger not past, and eventually Lucy Johnson thumps it away. He's in there. Dangerous. Headed away by Mason. Wells back to Nellis. Now Foot. Cross for Rima. Beatty, McGregor, Morris. And Foot again. And Foot punches that one forward. Mason, Morris gets in ahead of Blackwood Beatty, but showed a bit too much of it to Smith. Now to play there. A few members of the victorious Toronto Pirates team just sitting in front of me in the stand here, enjoying the spectacle. What a wonderful performance from them. A couple of the key goal scorers down there, Nathan and Holton, and just wishing to send their best regards to a former favourite of ours here at Slice of Cheese, Holly Ayton. David Holton says g'day, as this one is worked forward, and Anderson slides in. Oh, she's coughed it up. This is an absolute gift, and accepting the gift is Georgia Burt. She doesn't look the gift horse in the mouth. 1-0 and a goalkeeping howler against the run of play. It's the Hobart Zebras in front. They seem to have the situation under control. Anderson just rolled into a knee and deflects open. And Georgia Burt says thank you very much, and that is an absolute gift. The Zebras, well, they've been pegged back on the back foot. Alveston in control of this game, and they find themselves a goal down. Well, they punish the mistake. And that one, a real let-off for the Zebras. Will that give them some confidence going forwards? It's come completely against the run of play. Here's Blackwood Beattie. Forward for foot. Smith. Sims giving chase to this one. Delaney has scored it over the line. That one straight out of play. Smith again. Worked it to Jasmine Gorry. Lucy Johnson. Now Zoe Nichols to McGregor. And Lucy Johnson convinced it had taken a touch off an Ulverstone body. Assistant referee not so convinced. The throw in given the way of the coastal side. He's chasing this game now. Gill works it forward. Those Western City supporters, I'm sure, will be very much enjoying that scoreboard at the time being. They beat University 4-0 yesterday to close the gap back to 3 points. Relying on a slip up at some stage from Ulverstone. Could be forthcoming today. Otherwise, going to be a tough road trip south for them, but they've acquitted themselves well. They are unfortunate to be behind, but finding this kind of adversity and coming back in games where you've probably been a better team and not necessarily got the goals is all part of winning a title, and they might be in a bigger hole in a second here. Kanagisa just needed to lift the eye. She had Morris peeling to the back post. And just a little bit hungry there was Kanagisa. Just needed to curl this one to the back stick. Opting the low percentage shot. And just the wrong option taken on that occasion. Burt nods on a plate. Throw in down the line from Blackwood Beattie. She'll go again. Making some inroads. Here we go again, Blackwood Beattie. But a misplaced pass on that occasion. Just under 10 minutes before the break now. Zebras holding sway, 1-0. Flicked on well by Morris, and Georgia Burt's tearing out after this one. Situation under control. Slight bobble on the back pass from Wells, but dealt with it all right. Sims back to foot. Rima wanted the early ball. Instead, they go short for Smith. Smith slightly underhits it, and that allows Kayla Mason to step in and steer it away. Two Ulverstone players run into each other. And then they get the throw in. Lucy Johnson throwing her body about. On the line, number 10 here. running into each other there, the teammates. Play continues. Rachel Gill goes back to Mason. Probably could have gone the left there, went outside of the boot on the right. Needs a touch. Say has returned to his technical area now. Just situating himself in the stand early. Given the rain that's taming him down now, he may well bring himself back to the stand shortly. It's getting worse, if anything, here, the conditions. As Alveston looking to make inroads here. Jasmine Gorry with a wonderful ball and a chance here at the back post. Charged down by Delaney. Sims trying to get the shot off. Just unable to do so. And now Foot gets on the ball. Wells chipping it. Falls away McGregor. Worked it behind to Johnson. And Smith is able to send it wide again for Foot. It's Foot turning onto the right and swinging it in towards Gorry. Took a touchdown towards Georgia Foot. Then returned it immediately, the 1-2. Back to Gorry again, and they just spent a little bit too long there playing those short passes. Now the Zebras defence to swarm and deal with the situation. Mason, Johnson, Gill, long in the Nichols direction. Nellis turning onto her right. Just kicks it out under pressure from Zoe Nichols. Morris, Johnson, back to Sarah Morris. Chips it in and allowed to run through to the keeper. He hits this one along. Roberts just out pointing Georgia Foot on that occasion. Searching ball down the line, looking for the run of Sims. She won't be able to track that one down.
Well done, guys. Everyone said that.
So 40 minutes have ticked by here. Hobart Zebras with just the one shot for the game. But sticking in the back of the net. Goalkeeping error allowing an empty net for Georgia Burt, and that's the difference between the teams after 40. Alveston buffing off here was Morris. That's a great sliding challenge from Nellis. Did ever so well. And coming off slightly worse for wear as a result of that challenge, it was Morris. Some concern for a former teammate there from Nellis. It's a good, strong challenge. Gets the ball. Wonderfully well there, Emily Nellis. Committed, slid in, had to get the ball and did so. Chris Hay using the stoppage to bark out some instructions to his defence. As Morris gets back to her feet. And appears right to continue. So Rachel Gill with the throw in, looking for Kanagisa, but Nellis again reading it intelligently. Here's Gill again. Gives it a heave off of Smith. Weeder had her path impeded by the referee. Now Burt. Morris. Pass eludes McGregor. Fall through to Lucy Johnson, who just knocked it back to Mason, who just chips it into the corner for Kanagisa to chase the rain. Getting heavier and heavier here at KG5 as we tick towards the half. It is truly diabolical conditions for the players. Part of this big Zebras v the Northwest Coast doubleheader at KG5 today. This game followed the Zebras and Strikers in the NPL. Big day of football at KG5, but not the nicest day. There's a poor touch there from Nellis. Let in Morris, played it to Nichols, across to Burt. The goal scorer Georgia Burt works it back in towards Nichols, but it's well cut out by Emily Nellis. Now Georgia Foot swings it over the top for the run of Lucy Reimer. charging after this one. Mason with the body on the line, did well. Did really well. Oh, then Rachel Gill got some imaging treatment there from Lucy Foote. Bodies on the line, both teams really going at it. Going at it hard. No one shirking any challenges in this game. Much like the cup final we saw on Monday. This one fighting Canageza. Nichols gives chase. Yen Nellis outstanding as a crossing coverage. Throw in. Canageza tried to turn onto the right, but that took her straight in the path of Smith. And now Foote works the full for Sims. Good hold up play from Jasmine Gorry. Works it back for Lucy Foote. Back to Jasmine Gorry. Sends it back for Sims. Sims works it near post. It was a poor ball. Straight into the side netting there. Just a little bit wasteful as we tick ever closer to the interval. Just a minute left in regulation. It's the Hobart Zebras holding sway. Georgia Burt with the goal. Albeit a bit of a gimme, a bit of a freebie. Alveston generally been the better team. They've just not been able to break through a pretty resolute rearguard from the Zebras. Here's Foote. The Foote girls have been pretty dominant in midfield once again today. Delaney swings that one away to the path of Smith. Now Georgia Foote with the back heel for Lucy Foote. Drive it straight at Bowden. Safe pair of hands. It was a powerful hit, but again, the direction straight at the goalkeeper, who does very nicely again. Did Bowden showed a safe pair of hands, but one last chance perhaps here for Rima. The flag raised for offside. And that might be the final meaningful moment of the half. This was the Foote combination. But Bowden showing why Crusade has put the faith in her to be the keeper. An integral part of the midfield. Started as a striker in one game, I think, earlier in the year. Now, between the sticks, as Gill heaves this one down in the direction of Canageza. Been fairly subdued today, Danielle Canageza. As this one is swept across by Wells. Canageza puts it in the Nichols direction. Anderson gathers. Another look at the watch there from the referee. Anderson swings it to Burt. First touch. Weeder has had an impressive first half in midfield. And a free kick for a foul on Lucy Johnson there. The Ulverstone fans less than impressed with that decision. But it will give one last look perhaps for the Hobart Zebras. Johnson, a little bit soft, went now fairly easily. So Lucy Johnson is absolutely miles out, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's not going to line up the shot here. For the keeper who's made one error, scored 3 or 4 from this distance already this season. I'm definitely anticipating shot. Lucy Johnson from distance just tries to finesse this one, and Anderson with a safe pair of hands. Wasn't beaten by that one. And that will be all she wrote for the first half here at KG5. It's the Hobart Zebras taking the lead into the sheds thanks to a goal from Georgia Burt. Came completely against the run of play. Alveston have looked to the sharper side, but have been unable to make it count on the scoreboard, and they've probably had the advantage of the wind at their backs. Just a horror moment there for Anderson in goals. Just sliding onto the knee and sat perfectly for Georgia Burt, who was never going to miss at that point, and gives her side the lead. The ladder leaders, the undefeated Ulverstone, well, that record is in a little bit of danger. They've got 45 minutes to turn things around. We'll see what the instructions are at the interval We'll be back in around about 15 minutes' time with what looms as an intriguing second half in this round 10 Women's Super League fixture as we head into the break. It's the Zebras 1, Alveston 0.
We could be holding up our line. We could be fighting for what's right. Or we could be falling to pieces. Under the bridge of fire burns, somewhere the pages start to turn, and somebody whispers, I need this. I will do anything just to make you see. Don't apologize for what's in your dreams. Maybe this time we'll be different. It's only us. It's only us. It's only us we can dream again. I'll tell you all my secrets. We're encouraged like a second skin. The kids are all dying. We're dying to believe again. Run through the open streets. We take what is needed. They say we're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say we're only young ones, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. We can dream all night till the sun rises. They say we're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever.
Lovely goal.
That was good coaching. It was cracking with the play.
Did you say hello to Holly? She messaged me and said we're standing in front of you. I'm going to walk past the camera. I don't know.
Do you want to take your career to the next level and start making money from the...
I love the excitement and the thrill of being out on the pitch.
It's not all about you, it's about working hard for everyone else on the field as well.
It's a really skillful game, exciting game, fast game.
Playing at the top level gives a sense of accomplishment, like we're actually doing something good for females. Our sport matters.
As soon as you walk onto the pitch, every emotion is flowing.
The passion within the game is second to none.
Was holding sway, a goal to nil. And in this one, Georgia Burt striking on the half-hour mark. But they've certainly not had it all their own way. Alveston have been on top for the most part. Probably should feel slightly aggrieved not to be leading this one. And I like this little routine off the kick-off. That is a well-rehearsed set play. Doesn't come off though, and the Zebras win the ball back. Weeder immediately reclaims it in the middle. And a big second half in store. Ulverstone should have the benefit of the wind at their backs as Morris tries to go past Foot. Nellis was imperious in that first half, and Lucy Foot immediately trying to drive her sides forward here. Swings one in looking for Rima. Unable to connect though. Melissa Bowden, who was very solid in the first half between the sticks. And an effort from distance coming in from Georgia Foot, but once again, well judged by Alyssa Bowden. She's quite comfortable with the shots from distance. Obviously, fairly regular avenue to goal at times in the Super League this season, but not allowing herself to be beaten from a range. It's Georgia Foot really looking to force the issue. Playing in midfield, the Foot sisters today. Seeing Georgia play a bit at centre back this year. Trying to get her a bit more on the ball today. Trying to negate a really strong midfield brigade. Now the Zebras possess. It's Delaney with the throw in here. You can see the wind blowing the corner flag there. How far it's leaning back. Let's see how significant an impact it should be. A bit sloppy on that occasion, but it certainly should be of benefit to Alveston as they chase this game. Lucy Johnson works it in the Kanagaza direction, chested it down, then scrap past Foot. Tries to tee up Zoe Nichols, but again, Emily Nellis composed at the back. Speaking of composed, Anderson just skipping past Nichols there. Slightly risky, but pulled it off beautifully there, the keeper. As Alveston look to build, Jasmine Gorry dropping a little deeper. Smith over the top. I don't think Sims will be able to track this one down. Now we'll see how the goal kicks go in the second half, because into this stiff breeze it's going to be more difficult again. It's going to be Roberts taking them rather than Bowden, which is a little surprising. This Kanagaza into the middle for Lucy Johnson. They need a lift out of Lucy Johnson, the Zebras. She was well shackled in that first half. Certainly wasn't a lack of effort. Been buzzing about the pitch, but it just hasn't quite clicked for her so far today. In particular, Georgia Foot has done a really good job negating it. This one spills wide for Rima. Rima up against Delaney, trot on the ball, goes back, gets it, and then to drive the ball, it rolls out as the wind kicks up another gear here. It's howling through KG5 at the moment. Lucy Foot turns towards goal. Good morning with the sister, and Kayla Mason steps in, and that ball just sits in that wind. It is going to be very tough playing out into this. Morris chips it down the line again, it just holds, and Nellis gets in there. Nice first touch from Rima. That's where it ended, however. Wells charging forward as well. Plays it to Gorry. First time pass out to Rima. Lucy Rima checks inside. Georgia Bird sweeps across. Zoe Nichols holds up, and she's got Morris. That's brilliant defending, Nellis. Morris was off to the races there if that ball got through to her. Got the foot in expertly. As Rima Probing again, Jasmine Gorry. The key attacking weapons for both teams have been fairly subdued as this one's crossed in. Mason heads clear. Foots levels it up. Georgia Foot makes it 1-all. The teasing cross not dealt with at the back. And as soon as it hit the deck, it was Georgia Foot. In the pouring and driving rain here at KG5, they square the game. Bowden comes. Mason opted to head, but headed it straight into the path of Georgia Foot, not Lucy Foot. And she smashes that one into the back of the net. And it is a 1-1 back on terms. Probably a fair reflection of the game so far. They didn't deserve to be behind Ulverstone. And as it so often has been the way this year, one of the Foots making it happen for their team. On this occasion, Georgia playing a slightly more advanced role than we've seen this year. And they do make it count on the scoreboard, and the wind's picked up so much now. It's going to be a big advantage for them in this second half. Probably more so than it was for Zebras in the first half. I'm not convinced maximised it. Here's Jasmine Gorry. Cuts inside. Can get round Lucy McGregor, but Lucy Foot jumps on the ball. Works it to Georgia Foot. Back to Gorry. Gorry into Lucy Foot. Lucy Foot. It could be two Lucy Foots. Oh, bang! Two in a minute for the Foot sisters. Lucy this time around. And they've wiped out this deficit and moved into the lead. Clinical stuff from Lucy and Georgia Foot. A goal apiece. And just not dealt with by Gil. And it has been punished. First time hit. Superb. Well, the wind has turned, and so too has this game. And the ladder leaders Alveston 2-1 ahead after 51 minutes. They've made it pay. And this one's out of play on the near side. And what will the Zebras' response be? They now trail in this game. They've coughed up their lead just 5 minutes into the half. As Foot sends it out in front of Rima. She chase this one down. Is that a handball against Mason? Play allowed to continue. Crosses dangerously. Falling away, and that was Bowden. Wow, has this game turned. Corner flag out on the far side. So we have a look here. This teasing cross over the head of Bowden. And wind. Well, we might look back and say that a 1-0 deficit at half-time might have been a good result given the conditions. As Roberts tries to pick out Morris, couldn't do so. And they're getting this press going now, or Ulverstone. Morris tries to find Delaney. Wells. On the blind side came Johnson. Lovely work from Weeder. Tiela Weeder. Burt. Weeder again. Shielding Georgia Burr from it, then shifts it across to Rima, who's touched just a little heavy on this occasion. So Ulverstone turning the screws now. The entire complexion of this game has just turned in a matter of 60 seconds. 2 goals from the Foot sisters. And the ladder leaders stamping their authority on this contest. There's a reason they're 9 out of 9 so far in the league this year. They're looking to make it a perfect 10 out of 10. And here's their star number 10, Lucy Foot, who's put them ahead in this game. Got it to Rima, sends it back in looking for Gorry. Falls the way of Sims, but whisked away there by Gill. And some substitutions being readied by both sides, but seems Ulverstone are going to pull the trigger. Reading a switch on the near touchline. Looks like Lily James is set to be introduced. Let's see who James comes on for. And it's going to be for Lucy Rima. Good performance on the wing from her. Just a few problems, a few almost moments in attack, and we'll see what the substitute James can do here. Their side now in the ascendancy. Their chase did not last long. Not sure what the delay for the throw-in is, but we're good to go now. As Gill throws it. One back by Sims. Lucy McGregor. McGregor to Morris. Oh, coughed it up to Georgia Foot. Turning on it, Georgia Foot to Lucy Foot, sending it through for Jasmine Gorry. The offside flag was raised. Hasn't quite been her day yet, the competition's leading scorer. And yeah, she had strayed on that occasion. 18 times she's hit the back of the net in the Super League this year. They're trying to keep her off the scoreboard, something not many have been able to do this year. Roberts is going to need to defend this against the non-rushing Sims. They've got themselves a corner. Alveston. Jasmine Gorry strides across to take. Alveston firmly on top here in the second half as Gorry's cross is repelled by Gill. Gorry back to Foot. Foot trying to shape onto the right. And now sends a bomb to the far post. It's always well wide of the mark. Trying to catch Bowden out. And your response here from the Zebras. Most convincing of goal kicks. It eventually finds its way through to Lucy Johnson though, who just ran into that purple wall. It's just been erected at halfway. Look to charge down the left here. That's the substitute James. Just set too much of a task there. But the side with the best away kit in Tasmanian football, having a very good away day thus far. Are unlucky to go in down at the half. Quickly righted that on the scoreboard in the second half as Lucy Johnson is infringed. Just asking the question of the referee, how many times? The Ulverstone supporters just suggesting that perhaps someone's going down a little easily, but have enjoyed her running battle with the Foots and Weeder in the middle today. Put plenty of work into nullifying Johnson. This can stop Lucy Johnson. You go a long way to stopping the Hobart Zebras. She's on the ball here though, and she threads it through for the run of Kanagisa. Too far ahead of her though. Unable to track that one down. Anderson does so, and she sends it long. And look at the momentum that one picks up all the way through to her opposing keeper, Mr. Bowden. By contrast, it just goes straight up into the teeth of the breeze and comes straight back down. Here's Lucy Foot. Smith. Jasmine Gorry. Mason still wearing it tightly. He's done a pretty good job on her today. Zoe Nichols now, perhaps a chance to run at the defence for the first time today. Zoe Nichols gets past Nellis and then hits it first time. It was a fairly tame effort in truth. A little wide of the post there. It was initially good from Nichols, but just a little wasteful. They haven't had that quality in the final third today. And, the pattern in the second half has seen them very rarely being able to get in their own. And it's been Ulverstone firmly in control of this. Morris brings it down. Couldn't pick out Lucy Johnson though. Lucy Foot into the middle for the impressive Smith. Mason lets this one bounce, tracks it down but gets into a little trouble. Recovered the situation nicely though. Doing a good job on the dangerous Jasmine Gorry, but it's the Foot sisters who've done the damage today. Goal apiece to Georgia and Lucy. After Georgia Burt struck home a gift of an opener in the first half over the head of Georgia Foot to Jasmine Gorry. Jasmine Gorry. Back to Foot, back to Gorry. He just fouls Gill in the box there. Just clipping Rachel Gill.
Happy birthday, Dave. Can you tell her who she sings from?
So the Zebras, can they find a spark? Only one sub on the bench. Backup keeper and Donahue the other one, so it's probably going to be on these 11 players to do it as it's crossed in. Roberts able to deal with it. Corner flag again out. The weather is charging after this as Kanagaza just ran straight into Lucy Foot. Got round Lucy Foot in the end though, but Blackwood Beatty was in support. And it's been the real noticeable thing for me. There's been a lot more support for the players on the ball when an Ulverstone player's been in possession. They've had options moving for them, surrounding them. The Zebras, it's just been all a little bit static. Not quite been able to match the intensity of the lower leaders. That one's out off Sims. Zoe Nichols. She can spark a side. Sliding in was Nellis. Held her up. And that'll be out for a Zebras corner. Last touch coming off Smith. So the corner. What the Zebras, can it offer them a way back into the game as we tick past an hour here? It's a dangerous ball onto the head of Gill. At the back now for Lucy Johnson. Skips past the substitute and then crosses. Got nothing on the cross in the end, however. Easy pickings for Anderson. Gets them moving quickly. Hits Lucy Foot who turns and goes, but runs straight into Georgia Burt, then slid in to try and recover the error. Weeder. Now Jasmine Gorry. Jasmine Gorry swings it across to Blackwood Beatty. Wide now for Sims. Gill comes across to deal with her, but hits the deck. It's still Sims, centering ball looking for Gorry. Two Zebras are there to sniff that one out. Weeder. Now Kanagaza. Of course, it was Alveston who ended the winning streak of the Hobart Zebras earlier in this year. Only bringing that unbeaten run. It's stretched well back to the beginning of last season. It's up in Alveston and now threatening to come down to KG5 and beat them on their home turf too. It's Georgia Foot into the box. Well done, Caitlin Roberts. Aware to the danger. Trying to do a little bit too much though, and Kanagaza sliding in to try and skew that one away from Wells. Brief stoppage while the corner flag could again be put back in. Eventually, it's going to be Wells. Throws it in. Lucy Johnson repels. Wells. Couldn't get past Johnson. Now Smith. Number 9, Senders looking for Lucy Foot. She's going to hit it first time. She was leaning back and off balance, and as she converses with the sister there, might have been better off just leaving it for her on that occasion. Smith to Foot. Lucy Foot. Cut out by Roberts. She passed it straight back to Foot. And Foot's going to try and catch Bowden out here. Bowden is again reliable under the high ball. Going to be cut out by the chip. Falcon there on Roberts, but turned into a reasonable pass through the legs of Foot by Burt. That was tidy. And now threads it through for the runner, Morris. One-on-one with Nellis, who's across. And soldiering on the battle of the sixes here. Who's going to take the points? They fight just about to a draw, and in the end, Michael Beattie comes across and smashes it away, so well done by Nellis. Did a good job holding up Morris there as the ball broke. Look to preserve the lead here. Ungainly effort that one from Gill. Free kick blown in favour of Ulverstone. Just smashed this one long. McGregor copped that one, did well to defend it in the end. Did really well, Lucy McGregor. Now she's on the ball and threads it through for Lucy Johnson. Lucy Johnson tries to swing it into the path of Nichols, but again it's just overhit, and they've just not had that quality in the final third today. Of the Zebras, their passing has not been up to scratch. Certainly by their usual standards, but a chance perhaps here for Zoe Nichols. Oh, Anderson does well. Just still not quite past. Zoe Nichols turning back onto the right, again shut down. Elevator doors slamming shut on her. And well done, Anderson. A big chance there for Nichols to get them back on terms. Now Jasmine Gorry at the other end, but Taylor Mason has gone toe-to-toe with her today and used her pace expertly. We'll have another look at this Zoe Nichols chance at the other end. It was a wonderful ball from Morris. Played it through, tried to hit it first time from distance and catch the keeper out. Anderson not deceived, and then did well with the legs to just take it away from Nichols. And then the numbers were back, the purple shirts, the purple haze just descending around the Zebras area, enveloping their attackers. So Rachel Gill getting some treatment in the technical area after copping a knock. Georgia Bird away. Well, that's tidy from Blackwood Beattie. Throw in to Alveston. Back to Smith. Bit of space to operate in. Swings it there, but Roberts again solid defence. That wasn't the most helpful of clearances. It's going to fall for the substitute Smith. James. Delaney does well. Now Foot shaping to shoot from distance. It's Foot. Off the woodwork. Oh, what a hit from Lucy Foot. And it just grazes the crossbar. The moment this ball sat up, she had one thought. And that is not far away. The fine margins of football. We saw that in Australia, France last night. Millimetres can be the determining factor. And so it was there, denying Lucy Foot what would have been a spectacular of goals. And if they were to go two ahead, it's hard to see the Zebras fighting back. At that moment, a minute ago, Zoe Nichols. As we're going to see a substitution here for the Zebras. Donahue going to come on for Morris. Meanwhile, it looks like Gill will be able to continue at left back. She's come back on. Donahue, the substitute. Sarah Morris replaced. 2 minutes remaining in this one. The Zebras chasing the game, but Ulverstone holding sway. Looking the more likely at the moment. Here's Delaney. Goes for Kanagiza. Good work though by Wells. Delaney powering on. Falls for Kanagiza. Donahue's first involvement is to send it down the line for Johnson. And Sims gets the better of Gill and swings it forward for the run of Jasmine Gorry, and just picked up too much speed. Just really kicked off the wet surface there. Spun towards the goalkeeper. Lucy Foot. Georgia Foot. Now Weeder. Broken up by Burt. Foot. Burt. Zoe Nichols. Controlling the ball. The hold-up play's been good. Just been what to do from there. Lucy Johnson has been well negated, and I think the time might be arriving for her to move further forward. This is promising here. The substitute Donahue puts it out in front of her. Blackwood Beatty giving chase for Ulverstone. Donahue chips inside. Now it's got Nellis to beat. Donahue does ever so well and wins the corner. Has kept powering away there and gets the set piece for a side. Gives them the chance to send something else in. There's looks like Samantha Hardy being ready on the Alveston interchange. And we'll see a switch. Crosses dangerously. Gill couldn't steer it home. Not far away. Johnson just wanted a little more than James. Good intent from Lucy Johnson, and a pretty good looking cross too towards Nichols, just over her head. Georgia Burt will track this one down. Georgia Burt crossing. Geezer and Nichols in there, couldn't find either of them. Burt's going to get another chance. This time it's charged down and blocked for a throw in. The Zebras pressing here, showing signs of life as they try and get back on terms. It looks like Hardy being introduced now for Ulverstone. He's going to replace Smith, who I think had a pretty good game there for Alveston. Enjoyed Melanie Smith's work this afternoon. She's battled hard, won the ball back well. Had a good physical presence and now makes way for the experienced Samantha Hardy. "20 minutes to play in this one at an icy cold and rainy KG5. 3 points on both sides desire here. Warm them right up as this one's thrown. Nellis read it well. Lucy McGregor. McGregor just worked off it by Sims. Does really well there, Sims. Well, had done well and coughed it straight up to Donahue. Gives it back to Gill. And her pass couldn't find Donahue on the return. So Gill takes the throw in, but it's broken up by Georgia Foot. Georgia Foot looking for Jasmine Gorry. And Mason across. It's a good looking cross to your post. Couldn't quite steer it home there with James. Well defended by Delaney. Here's Foot. Georgia Foot looking for Gorry. Can figure out. Geezer against James. Throw in taken. Lucy Foot with a rare mistouch. Lucy Johnson comes storming in. Went out of play though. Well, this one sit for Lucy Foot. The opposite number, Johnson. 2 Lucy's in 10. Fighting hard in midfield all afternoon. Here's Lucy Foot. Worked it to Gorry. Gorry back to Hardy. Hardy's first involvement. To swing it to James. Heavy touch inside, let Delaney in, but then one back by Gorry, who just set it too far ahead of herself. Even the speedster won't be able to track that one down. Chip pass in the direction of Kanageza. Does well, gets the better of Hardy. This Danielle Kanageza, then works it into the middle for Lucy Johnson. Johnson for McGregor, into the middle for Burr. Working up again by this Ulverstone midfield brigade. That's a dicey back pass, now it's let in. Zoe Nichols! Wide of the post. What a moment that was for the Hobart Zebras. Zoe Nichols again going first time and couldn't direct it goalward. The keeper stranded. And will that be the moment they look at as the one has gone begging? Alveston just switching off momentarily, and they were almost made to pay for that back pass. Not to be though. Jasmine Gorry with a very sharp turn. Plays it through for Georgia Foot. First time ball, Gorry's giving chase. That's easy enough for Bowden. And that chance spark the Zebras again though. Will it give them some renewed vigour to try and get back on terms in this one? Or will it be Alveston with the knockout blow? James just not getting enough on that finish. Bowden long. Here's McGregor. McGregor for Johnson. Lucy Johnson. Beat one defender. Couldn't beat the imperious Emily Nellis though. I don't know about the fast retrieval of the ball there by Alveston. Just being a little bit too nice there, it was Wells. Lead up every second when you've got a 2-1 lead in a game like this. Here's Georgia Foot. Georgia Foot sends through a wonderful ball for James to run onto. Kayla Mason tearing across for the Zebras. Defends it well. She's had a good game as Mason held this defence together. Real leader at the back. Now with the likes of O'Brien and Undy, Nellis all departing. Kayla Mason very much the leader at the back as Georgia Foot scything through here. And then ran into Delaney, surely a foul. I don't think there was any malice, just lost her footing on the slippery turf, I think, but cleaning up Delaney. Yeah, just sliding in. Could perhaps have got a booking for that one. Very, very fortunate not to have got a booking, I reckon. Here's Burt. Kanagese can't keep that one in play inside of the final 15 minutes. The lane still teaming down here for the time being. Wells with the throw in. McGregor can find Kanagese. Wilson wanted it short, and then further afield it was cut out by Hardy, then Nellis, Wells, Roberts, and the fall from McGregor, beaten to it by Hardy. Good pass from Gill across to Bird, and Nichols. It's not quite coming off at the moment, the passing game of the Zebras. It's certainly being made all the more difficult. Oh, this wind they're going into. Very tough day for football, this one. A long throw in for Foot. Chipped it on. Good looking ball. Roberts nicely. And Gill steers it away. Hardy misjudged it. Falls for Zoe Nichols. Going backwards to go forwards here. Zoe Nichols, but there she couldn't beat Foot. Stuck the foot in and won the ball back. Mason, Gill. Again, it's out of play. It's a little disjointed at the moment. As it looks like some more action on the touchline. Liard DePros set to be introduced. And will replace Ebony Sims. And we've also got Rachel Glover coming on, and she will replace Susanna Blackwood-Beatty. So a double substitution there. Machine pulled by Malcolm Gorry. Not sure how the sub system works with Lucy Foot being the coach. Whether it's preordained or whether Mel Gorry down there on the touchline is the one making the decisions. Nichols back for Donahue. Looks it further afield, but there's only Nellis back there for Ulverstone. Gill pressing up. Fell to Weeder. Here's Mason once more. Couldn't find Nichols. Away by foot. Jasmine Gorry lurking ominously. Then Delaney with a dicey touch. This could be the knockout blow. Straight at the keeper. The Pros had the chance with the first touch to be a goal, but didn't really hit it with any conviction. Just tried to sneak it near post. Probably would have been better off going across the face of goals there. But a reprieve for the Zebras. They hang in there. We really had one chance of note in this second half. Zoe Nichols firing wide. She might get on the end of it, or maybe Lucy Johnson. Well dealt with though by Wells. A composed figure, the Ulverstone fullback today. There's this one that's set out in front of James. Mason again arriving in time. The rain getting even heavier now. Into the middle for Weeder. Weeder wide for James. Just a bit too much on it though, and how to play it rolls. Ten minutes to go. There's Jasmine Gorry in on goal here. It's Jasmine Gorry! Well blocked away there by Roberts. And opened up at the back here again. Playing out from the back, just going wrong. McGregor getting herself into a bit of trouble here. A heavy touch allowing the speedy Jasmine Gorry in. It's probably going to sneak in at the far post. It was a crucial block from Caitlin Roberts. The corner's taken short, and again they try and sneak it in near stick there on Bowden. It shuts that down. It's been pretty accomplished in goals today, Melissa Bowden. I think you can blame her for the scoreline. His foot and Kanagisa scrap away. Lucy Johnson comes in. Kanagisa dealt with afterwards by a foot. But then kicks the ball away, and we'll get a slice of cheese as a result. A little unnecessary, says the referee, and quite correct in that assessment. And the copybook of Foot, who's been outstanding today. So have the Zebras got something left in the tank here? Chasing this game. And will Alveston be a perfect 10 from 10 in season 2018 and re-establish a 6-point lead atop the table? Inside the final 10 minutes now. As Weeder coughed it up to Gill. Lucy Johnson looking for Nichols. Just lurking about is Nichols. A nuisance of herself up top, but they repel it away, and now Jasmine Gorry's got the wheels here. Jasmine Gorry coming across is Mason. And she's hit it rather half-heartedly in the end. I think she just saw Kayla Mason arriving in a vision and said, I've got to get rid of this. I think that's a credit to the job that Mason has done on her today. The competition's leading scorer has been fairly well negated. The foot combination in midfield has been most decisive. It looks like being a match-winning combination. Again, Mason works it away to Gill, who just hoofs it up to Georgia Foot. Suspicion of handball there. Here's Hardy. Back to Foot. McGregor off the head of Burt. Burt scrapping away in there. One back by Georgia Foot, sliding in. Needs to watch yourself on a yellow card there, Georgia Foot. She's going to get a warning here, but on a yellow card, you're probably going to want to avoid doing stuff like that, especially with a 2-1 lead in that area of the field. Just no real need for it. And she knows only one way, and it's 100%. With Roberts cut out by Hardy to McGregor. Well defended by Glover, the substitute. Now Weeder dropping deep. Glover again, just caught on her heels there was James. Burt back to Mason. Mason to Bowden. Bowden first time, straight to DeProse. And back to the keeper again. Anyway through here for the Zebras. Nodded on by Wells. Delaney will get the throw in. Foot in was good from Delaney. Now Lucy Johnson. Will it open up at the back? Nellis clips her. Zoe Nichols racing in on goal. Advantage played. And just got stuck behind her. Zoe Nichols again. Just when it seemed it was going to open up at the back. And Rappel. Through ball and perhaps a chance for Weeder, but too much on it. Gathered again by Bowden. And Bowden pushing this one. Into the middle, turning was Weeder. Well, one back by Georgia Burt, and then she skips clear. Georgia Burt trying to drive the play, but Nellis shut it down. Burt again has the goal for a side and is trying to give them a left, but they can't get past Georgia Foot, who wins it back again. Eventually fell to Mason, coughed it up to DeProse. DeProse gets a push in the back from Delaney, and that'll be a free kick. In a good position, very much in Foot territory this one. Five minutes to go in this one. It's Georgia and Lucy standing over the dead ball. Looking to aim. A knockout blow here. This way 2-1. It's going to be Georgia Foot with the free kick. And they finish the job. It's Foot. Curls it in, dropped by Bowden. The rebound is poked home by Jasmine Gorry. And Ulverstone make it 3-1, and that is surely the ball game. The free kick spilled by Bowden into the path of Gorry, who had followed it up. She was the only one there, the only one who gambled on that. And surely makes safe the points for Ulverstone. They look set to go 6 points clear on top again. 10 out of 10 on the season, it seems. And Jasmine Gorry adds goal number 19 for the season. You just can't keep her off the score sheet. She had one of the quieter games today, and she still ended up scoring a decisive goal here. That surely ends this one as a contest. A smile on her face now. Any good goal scorer happy to have got that one. She'll have 19, and Alveston continuing to lead the way in the Super League. With the Zebras 1-0 up at half-time. This was going to be a tough one for them. A tough trip south, the defending champions. They're going to beat them for a second time this year as James tried to work it to Weeder. Here's Donahue. Georgia Burt turning, works it to Canagiza. Canagiza. Stretching was Nellis. Coming through was Burt. Zoe Nichols still soldiering on up top. Into the middle. Georgia Foot. Georgia Foot trying to spring in Gorry, who gambled once again with a run in behind. Delaney to Canagiza. Canagiza forcing Wells back here. Get some field position. They need more than that now. 2 goals behind. Time becoming an enemy. Delaney to Canagiza. Canagiza skips around Wells. Can she put a cross in here? Went near post, away by Glover. And then Nellis. Delaney stands it up. Dangerous looking ball. Donahue, well away Hardy. Weeder. Now James. Clear the area. There's only a minute left in regulation. She got Lucy Foot in acres of space, tearing through the middle, screaming for the ball. Eventually heads there, but the moment had passed. Just needed to play that one a little bit earlier. And Bowden with the up and under. Johnson hasn't been her day today. frustrated figure at times as DeProse combining with Lucyfoot. And just barging into the back there was Johnson. Gets away with it and then down the line for Delaney. Delaney straight to Georgia Foot. Georgia Foot shaping to shoot from range again. Georgia Foot! Just wide of the post. That one was dipping. Didn't quite drop. Not a bad effort though from the Ulverstone skipper. He's probably been the best player on the park today. Georgia Burt plays it back to Roberts. Roberts for Burt. Delaney. I think the Zebras know this one's done. The body language doesn't look like a team that feel they can sneak two in stoppage time. They really had a couple of chances all game. Alveston serving winners. Claim the little buffer they have at the top of the table. The Zebras record-breaking 2017, 2018 proving a much tougher year to back up their success in. Ulverstone absolutely flying. Struggled last season, but the football revolution on the coast has absolutely got them up and about. Lucy and Georgia Foot's arrival with the likes of Nellis and Gorrie have made this quite the team as Lucy Johnson tries to pull one back, driving towards a couple. In the end, unable to conjure anything, Lucy McGregor. It spills out a play. It's Ulverstone looking the goods in season 2018. They are the team to beat. There's no doubt over that. And whacked away again. And that will be full time. Ulverstone maintain their 100% Super League record with a convincing victory. They trailed 1-0 at half time. It was probably a harsh deficit. They played pretty well in the first 45. Then with the wind at their backs in the second half, they put the Zebras to the sword. They scored 3 times. They bossed the contest and run out resounding 3-1 winners. We're going to have one final look at the goals, Ash, or we got no time? No time. We've got to prepare for the next one. So we'll be back in around about 10 minutes' time with the MPL Hobart Zebras v Devonport. It's been Ulverstone making it 1-0 to the coastal sides. Will that continue in the second leg? We'll find out shortly. Be back then.